It's currently 5:25 a.m. and I've just arrived in Stockwell to begin today's tube challenge.
In this challenge, I'm going to try and visit all 272 London Underground stations in as little time as possible. There is one rule. At each station, I will have to get off the train and take a picture to prove that I was there. Let's begin. I started my journey at Brixton station, working my way north through the Victoria line through stations Stockwell, Vauxhall, Pimlico, and then Victoria. This is where I met the only person I knew who is crazy enough to embark on this potentially 30-hour-long challenge.
Well, look who we have here.
4 hours of sleep, and we have like 36 hours of training ahead of us.
Indeed.
So off we went. Our spirits were high and our beginning of our plan was simple. We wanted to head to the most northwest point in the whole of the tube map and then work our way inward. First we headed to Marylebone so we could take a Chiltern railway service up to the beautiful station of Amersham.
Okay, we've just arrived at Amersham and now we're going to head back into central London via the Metropolitan line.
The slog begins.
Okay, we've just got to Chalfont and Latimer and it appears that we have a half an hour wait. Give us your reaction to this.
Long day. That's all I can say.
So, we've just done the northwest section of the tube map. We've done a lot of the Metropolitan line, Amersham, Chesham, all of the places up northwest. And now we've just left West Ruislip from the central line. We will be walking now to Ickenham station. We use a very interesting method of obtaining images of us in the tube stations. So the tube doors open, we run outside to capture the image, and then before the train doors closes, we rush back in. Yeah, morale's very good, still high. I mean, it is 12:55 p.m. We're doing well. We still have a lot to go, but morale and spirit is high.
This ended up being one of the most satisfying points on the whole journey, getting off, jumping off at each station and coming back.
Okay, so we've just done the whole of the Bakerloo line and now we will be
marking on our list of tube stations to see what stations we have covered. During this part of the journey, we covered a lot of the central part of the tube map, including parts of the Jubilee line, the District line, the Circle line, and the Northern line, as well as the Victoria line. Little did we know we were about to face the hardest part of our journey so far, the extremely rare Kensington Olympia service. Our goal was to get to Earl's Court and see if we were lucky enough to catch one in time. While we were there, plenty of trains came and went, but we waited ages just to see if one would come. It turned out luck may be on our side today.
Okay, it's been a long time for an update, but here we have a Kensington Olympia service. Very rare we get them, but in 12 minutes we'll be taking that. We're currently at Earl's Court station after doing a big chunk of the Northern line, big chunk of the District line and Circle line, and also a big chunk of the Bakerloo line. Yeah.
So we waited 20 minutes, and there you have it. The train arrived. We got on, looking forward to our short journey to Kensington Olympia. When the train pulled into the station, we were both filled with pure joy, knowing that we had just managed to do the near impossible task of catching a very rare Kensington Olympia service purely by coincidence. At this point, we decided to continue our journey to try and conquer the Central Line. We went to Shepherd's Bush via the overground to pick up our connection. This section of the journey was really hard. Both our tiredness was setting in, as well as a realisation that potentially we may not be able to finish it tonight, because although the night tube is running on certain lines, there are still a lot of lines, for example the district line, which we haven't managed to complete, which may stop our progress, or even our ability to get to the night tube lines. We've arrived in Wealdstone, and as you can see, we are not happy. It's currently 1 AM, and we can't proceed due to the next steps of our journey requiring non-night tube services. At this point we decide we need to take a break, so we head to a friend's accommodation at London School of Economics, and then we stay there chatting until the early hours of the morning. As soon as it's 4:30 AM, we leave our accommodation, we walk back to Euston Station, getting ready without any sleep to take the first train of the morning to continue our tube challenge. Despite being awake for over 24 hours at this point, we had gained a new determination to finish this challenge so we could get to bed. We moved forward, finishing the Jubilee line and the Northern line, before we ran into some significant difficulties. Our first major challenge was the fact that tube lines were filled with engineering works, in particular the Piccadilly line, which we needed for our final leg of the journey to get to Heathrow. The second huge challenge was our exhaustion levels being so high. Both of us were involuntarily falling asleep between stops, and at this point we were approaching around 35 hours since we started the day before. We also found out that the section on the district line between Turnham Green and Ealing Broadway was not running any trains. Due to all of these factors, we decided it was not viable to continue, so we terminated our attempt at the tube challenge. But we will be back to finish what we started.